Ah, the Galactic Military Academy where the finest recruits are molded into legends. Or, well, where we toss the galaxy's outcasts and pray they don't blow up the simulator. Again, General Zix Snacks of the Arcturian High Command let out a weary sigh, his tentacles sagging under the weight of his eternal frustration. From the observation deck, he surveyed the peculiar assembly of alien generals gathered to observe the latest crop of cadets tackle the infamous three-day siege simulation. To his right, General Clack of the Zento Collective quivered with enthusiasm, her bioluminescent patches flickering in eager anticipation. Great, another unwelcome light show to make his day. This is exhilarating, Clack chirped, her voice grating on Zix Snack's nerves. I can't wait to see how they tackle the challenges we've set up. He rolled all 7 of his eyes. Exhilarating. Try predictably tedious. 3 days of blunders, half of them taken out by friendly fire, and we all call it a learning experience. To his left came a booming laugh from General Voff of the Tan Empire, a towering mass of muscle and scales. Oh, come now, Zix Snacks, Vaw rumbled. Where's your sense of adventure? Perhaps this lot will surprise us. Zix Snacks scoffed. The day these cadets surprise me is the day I sprout wings and take to the skies. The simulation chamber doors hissed open, and the cadets began to file in. Zix Snack's tentacles curled with distaste at the usual assortment lanky Proxians tripping over their many limbs, bulbous Gans floating unsteadily, and wait. His eyes narrowed. Something was ... different. Are those ... Terrans? At the back of the group stood 5 human cadets, tiny and frail compared to their alien peers. For the first time in centuries, Zix Snacks felt a spark of curiosity. Well, he murmured. Looks like we've got Deathworlders in the mix. Clack's glow shifted to a worried purple. Deathworlders? Isn't that risky? What if they injure the others? Ov roared with laughter. Hurt the others? Those spindly bipeds? I'd be more concerned about them getting squashed. Relax, Clack. Zix Snacks said dismissively. If they're here, they pass the exams like everyone else. Though how their primitive brains manage, that is beyond me. The last cadet stepped in, and a disembodied voice boomed, Cadets. Your mission is to defend the galactic capital from a superior enemy force for 3 days. Resources are limited. Work together to survive. The simulation begins now. As the generals settled in for what they assumed would be another drawn-out, dull spectacle, they couldn't have been more mistaken. 15 minutes later, chaos erupted. What in the 7 moons of Arcturus is happening? Zix Snacks bellowed, his tentacles thrashing in disbelief. The observation deck was a cacophony of shouting generals, panicked gestures, and even distress pheromones from the more anxious species. On the massive screen, the 5 humans were ... dominating. No, dominating didn't suffice. They were dismantling centuries of alien military doctrine with astonishing ease. While the alien cadets argued over strategy, the humans acted. The tallest, a female named Jensen, hacked into the simulation's code within minutes. She doubled the defense turret's firepower and jammed the enemy's weapons. Meanwhile, Rodriguez, a stocky male, redesigned the city's infrastructure in real time, crafting a web of traps that left the enemy forces in utter disarray. Ali, a nimble redhead, took charge of the disorganized alien cadets, marshaling their diverse abilities into a cohesive and shockingly effective support unit. But it was the twins, Chen and Li, who truly stunned everyone. They commandeered an enemy battlecruiser and used it to obliterate the invasion fleet, all while broadcasting yo mama jokes across enemy frequencies. This ... this is absurd, Clack wailed, her bioluminescence flashing like a glitching disco ball. The simulation is unwinnable. They shouldn't be able to do this. Aw, for once, was speechless, his jaw hanging open as his razor-sharp teeth seemed laughably unimpressive compared to the human's performance. Zix Snacks couldn't decide between outrage and admiration. Well, he muttered, looks like I'd better start practicing my flying. Anyone have a spare set of wings? On screen, the enemy commander appeared, battered and visibly shaken. WE... surrender, it croaked. Just make it stop. Jensen grinned, fingers flying across a makeshift console she'd cobbled together from scraps. "Albu, we were just getting started. Who's up for round 2? Her teammates cheered while the alien cadets stared in a mix of awe and terror. As the simulation ended, declaring an unprecedented victory, the observation deck descended into pandemonium. Generals argued, technicians scrambled, and a few high-ranking officials quietly updated their retirement plans. Zix Snacks, however, remained composed. Slowly, a grin spread across his face as he watched the humans on the screen. For the first time in eons, he felt something unusual excitement. "Well, esteemed colleagues," he announced, raising his voice over the uproar, "it seems we have a new lesson to learn. And our teachers," he gestured to the grinning humans, "are just getting started." The room fell silent, all eyes on Zix Snacks as he added, "Personally, I welcome our new Deathworlder overlords. Now, who's ready to see what they can do on a real battlefield?" The ensuing uproar was music to his ears. Perhaps, Zix Snacks mused, retirement could wait after all. Who could wait centuries when things were finally getting interesting? Over the following days, the Galactic Military Academy found itself in utter upheaval. The 5 human cadets, far from basking in their unprecedented victory, treated it as a challenge to push their limits even further. General Zix Snacks, much to his own astonishment, became the de facto liaison between the humans and the rest of the Academy, a role that was equal parts exhilarating and exasperating. "Cadet Jensen," he said, struggling to keep his tentacles from trembling, "when I asked you to enhance our cybersecurity, I didn't mean hacking every major government in the galaxy." The tall human grinned, completely unapologetic. "But sir, how else would we know if the firewalls were secure?" "Don't worry, I left everyone a note and some cookies." Zix Snacks decided against asking whether she meant digital cookies or the edible kind. With these humans, either was plausible. Meanwhile, Cadet Rodriguez had taken to optimizing the academy itself, literally. Zix Snacks arrived one morning to find the buildings rearranged into what Rodriguez described as a more efficient layout. That it formed a giant smiley face when viewed from orbit was, according to Rodriguez, purely coincidental. Ali, unsatisfied with merely leading her peers, began giving impromptu guest lectures to senior academy instructors. Out of curiosity, Zix Snacks attended one. He left with a splitting headache and a reluctant admiration for the art of improvisation. As for the twins, Chen and Li, Zix Snacks limited his check-ins to every other day for the sake of his own sanity. On his last visit, he found them dismantling a black hole generator while debating Earth snacks. But Sir Lee protested when Zix Snacks voiced his concern. "How else are we supposed to create the ultimate popcorn popper?" During one of these routine check-ins, chaos erupted. A frantic aide burst into the room, nearly tripping over his tentacles. "General, emergency transmission from the Galactic Council. The Vexar Horde has launched a surprise attack on the outer colonies." Zix Snacks' heart sank. The Vexar were a scourge of unparalleled ferocity, their brutal conquests unmatched in the galaxy. The very mention of them struck fear into even seasoned generals. Before he could respond, a loud whoop of excitement made him turn. The 5 human cadets stood grinning like maniacs. Finally, Jensen exclaimed, cracking her knuckles. "A real test of our skills." Cadet Zix Snacks began cautiously. "This isn't a simulation. The Vexar are the galaxy's most feared warriors. Entire fleets have fallen before them." Ali's grin widened. "With all due respect, sir, that was before they met us. Now, are you going to tell us where the fight is, or do we need to hijack a ship ourselves?" Zix Snacks looked at them, their fiery determination evident. He made a decision that would echo through history. "Right," he said, standing tall. "Cadets, consider yourselves field promoted. We leave for the front in 10 minutes. As the humans cheered and sprinted off to prepare, Zix Snacks allowed himself a small smile. The Vexar think they're invincible, he thought. Wait until they meet Earth's finest. May the cosmos have mercy on their souls, because these cadets certainly won't. The journey to the front was eventful. Zix Snacks had requisitioned the Academy's finest battle cruiser, the Indomitable, for the mission. Hours after departure, he questioned the wisdom of putting 5 humans on a state-of-the-art warship. Cadet Rodriguez Zix Snacks said, his patience fraying, "Why does the engine room resemble a Terran amusement park?" Rodriguez, smeared with grease, looked up from a mess of wires. "Improved efficiency, sir. By routing power through a series of gravity-defying loops, we've increased speed by 500%. Plus, it's fun to watch." Zix Snacks decided against mentioning that several engineers had gotten motion sickness from merely looking at the setup. In the tactical center, Jensen had so thoroughly integrated herself with the ship's systems that Zix Snacks half expected her to merge with the AI. "Sir," she called, her eyes unfocused. "I've identified 17 weaknesses in the Vexar fleet, rerouted their communications through a black hole, and reprogrammed their targeting systems to play something called Duck Hunt. Oh, and I might have given the replicators sentience. They're demanding Sundays off." Ali, meanwhile, commandeered the ship's training simulations. Zix Snacks stumbled upon her running the crew through increasingly absurd scenarios. "All right, people," she barked at a bewildered group. "The enemy has weaponized your shadows, reversed gravity, and your only weapon is a rubber chicken. You've got 5 seconds, go." As for Chen and Lee, Zix Snacks chose ignorance. His one visit to their lab revealed something called quantum silly string rumored to entangle entire star systems. He decided some mysteries were best left unsolved. Amid this controlled chaos, the Indomitable reached the front lines. The scene was dire. Vexar ships swarmed the battered galactic defense force. Planets burned and hope seemed lost. Zix Snacks felt a flicker of doubt. What was he thinking, bringing cadets into this nightmare? He turned to address them, but stopped. The 5 humans stood on the bridge, their gazes fixed on the carnage outside. Yet their expressions weren't of fear, but of excitement, determination, and a hint of something uniquely human mischief. Zix Snacks had grown accustomed to the peculiar human blend of madness and brilliance, a combination he found both terrifying and oddly inspiring. "Well," Jensen said, cracking her knuckles with a mischievous grin, "time to teach these Vexar a little Earth-style ingenuity." Rodriguez was already at work, pulling up enemy ship schematics. "I've got an idea to turn their tech against them," he announced. "Hope they like disco balls of doom." Ali, meanwhile, was rallying the fleet with unwavering confidence. "Listen up, everyone. This plan is either going to be glorious or a catastrophe. Maybe both." Chen and Lee exchanged a look that made Zix Snacks' tentacles twitch with unease. "Remember the quantum silly string?" Chen asked. Lee's grin widened. "Oh yeah, time to redecorate the cosmos." As the humans leapt into action, their energy swept up everyone on the bridge. For the first time in centuries, Zix Snacks felt genuine excitement. "All right, you lunatics," he declared, "show me what Terrans can do. Let's save the galaxy." What followed defied belief. For hours, the humans executed maneuvers that bent reality itself, their luck as audacious as their tactics. Jensen's hacking threw the Vexar ships into chaos. Their weapons blared cheerful Earth pop songs, and navigation systems redirected them to a black hole rebranded as a 5-star resort. Rodriguez transformed battleships into nimble dancers that pirouetted through enemy fire. He even converted an asteroid field into a massive game of pinball, with Vexar ships as the unwilling balls. Ali turned the disorganized galactic defense force into a well-oiled machine. Proxians became living shields, Gans absorbed firepower, and even pacifist Floralians engaged in aggressive pollination warfare. Yet it was Chen and Lee's quantum silly string that delivered the most astonishing blow. Entire Vexar fleets became entangled in threads of alternate realities. "Is that Vexar cruiser firing on itself?" Zix Snacks asked, his tentacles twisting in confusion. "Not exactly," Lee replied, grinning. "It's attacking its alternate reality self, where the Vexar are peaceful poets. Quantum identity crisis." Chen smirked. "We're calling it quantum interpretive space ballet." Zix Snacks shook his head, marveling at their unorthodox methods. Results were results, and these were miraculous. The Vexar's reputation crumbled under the relentless Terran assault. In the battle's final moments, Jensen suddenly perked up, her eyes gleaming. "Sir, I've got an idea. It'll either end this war or create centuries of paperwork. Maybe both. Permission to proceed." Zix Snacks, by now familiar with her brilliance, nodded. "Granted. Let's see it." Jensen's fingers danced over her console. Moments later, the Vexar fleet rearranged itself into a giant smiley face. Cadet Zix Snacks began, "Why are their ships forming an emoticon?" Jensen didn't look up. "Watch this." The fleet's comms crackled, blasting an Earth song, "Never Gonna Give You Up." To Zix Snacks' disbelief, the Vexar ships began dancing coordinated, choreographed movements in the vacuum of space. "What ... What have you done?" he whispered. Jensen leaned back, smug. "Introduce them to the art of the Rick roll. Also, I reprogrammed their culture to believe dance battles are the ultimate form of warfare." Zix Snacks stared, then burst into laughter. The absurdity spread through the crew and across the fleet, laughter replacing despair. The Vexar had been defeated not with firepower, but sheer human madness. In the days that followed, the Galactic Council demanded answers. What secret weapon did you use? What's the source of this unprecedented victory? Zix Snacks looked at his 5 grinning cadets and answered simply, "Gentle beings, meet humanity's greatest weapon, the Terran cadet." The council chambers erupted in chaos as Zix Snacks leaned back, satisfied. The galaxy would never be the same. Years later, tales of the Terran 5 became legend. Jensen, the cyber witch who rewrote reality with code. Rodriguez, the mad engineer defying physics. Ali, the tactical storm whose plans won wars. And Chen and Li, the quantum pranksters blurring the lines between comedy and combat. Zix Snacks, now humanity's advocate, often found himself explaining their unique genius. No, you can't replicate their unpredictability. Yes, Rodriguez's probability drive works only if you hum staying alive. That's just ... how they are. For all the chaos, Zix Snacks wouldn't trade those cadets for anything. Humanity had changed the galaxy forever, and life was all the better for it. One evening, Zix Snacks found a package on his desk. Inside was a holo photo of him and the 5 cadets, their grins wide. A note read, "Thanks for believing in us, you old softy. P.S. We signed you up for an intergalactic dance-off. For diplomacy. Love, your favorite Deathworlders." Zix Snacks chuckled, pulling up staying alive tutorials. If the galaxy was going to dance, he'd be ready to join in.